two more track and field teams to get to, McKinney High and McKinney North. Now, due to star testing this week, scheduling conflicts and whatnot, we were unable to get Coach Francis Jones of McKinney High and Matt Bilyeu of McKinney North to come in for today's show, but we wanted to make sure that we recognize their team's accomplishments in the district and regional meets. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you about how some of the track athletes did for both teams. We're going to start with McKinney High, and for the Lions, Justin Woolshed finished 5th in the 200 meters, and he also is part of a couple of relay teams for McKinney High. The 4x100 relay finished 3rd, the 4x200 finishing 4th. He was part of both of those relay teams as well. And the 4x100 relay that finished 3rd, also Raphael Martin, as well as Dante C.A. and Trayvon Williams, part of that relay team. And for the 4x200, it was Woolshed, Reeder, C.A., and Williams. Chase Reeder, part of that relay team. Some other results from McKinney High in the district meet. Chase Reeder was 7th in the 100 meters. Matt Fontius was 8th in the 1600 meter and 7th in the 3200 meters at the district meet. Aquarius McGee was 4th in the 110 hurdles. Also, Austin Ludwig was 8th in the long jump. And also, Kevin Steets was 1st in the pole vault, winning the district meet for the pole vault. Now, in regionals, 2 McKinney High players or track athletes advanced to regionals. Steets in the pole vault unfortunately was not able to score one of his vaults. He had a no height recorded, so he did not qualify for the finals in the pole vault. Dante C.A. finished 12th in the 400 meters. So those were the 2 McKinney High results as far as the regional meet was concerned. No one going to state for the Lions, but still a good year for Coach Francis Jones' team. Moving up, of course, to 10-5A. Very difficult district to deal with, and a lot of great athletes from the Plano schools and the Allen schools there in that district, along with Boyd, who we've already mentioned on today's show. Moving on to McKinney North, they had an excellent district and regional meet with Matt Bilyeu's squad. The 4x200 meter relay team finished 8th at the regionals, and they finished 4th with the 4x400 relay team. They were only 0.04 of a second behind finishing 3rd at regionals in the 4x400 relay. And this 4x400 relay team, a lot of different runners, but they did finish 3rd at state last year. A lot of those runners, though, had graduated already from the Bulldogs of North. Mark Bresnahan finished 7th in the 400 prelims, unable to get into the finals. He qualified for the finals, but unable to run. Tyler Files, 15th in the 100-meter prelim. He was another regional qualifier. One of the really exciting events of the regional track meet for really all of the schools, including McKinney North, was in the 110 hurdles with Victor Fincher. He finished 2nd in that event. He lost by 2/100ths of a second. That's all he was behind first place. And before you get to feeling a little bad for Victor not being able to come home with the top time in the regional, he did finish 200ths ahead of 3rd place. So the top 3 runners in the 110 hurdles at that regional meet all finished within 4/100ths of each other. Really a phenomenal race. And Victor, of course, is going to qualify for the state meet with that time. John Ford finished 1st in the discus. 165-4 was his mark in the discus, and that really crushed the entire competition. There was no one in the 160s throwing with the discus. And he finished 5th at regionals last season, improving to 1st place finish at regionals this year, so he is going on to the state meet as well. Good year for John Ford. And Eric Ford is 9th in the high jump, is where he placed. Austin Horton was 8th in that same discus event that John Ford won. Also in the discus, a 5th place finish by Uche Ugwanzi. Probably got the name wrong, but I'm trying my best. Uche Ugwanzi, his sister Ijeoma, of course, on the girls track team at North, she finished 3rd in the discus and 3rd in the shot put in the women's event. Uche finished 5th in the discus and 12th in the shot put. Stephen Wilder was 11th in the 110 hurdles and also 10th in the 300-meter hurdles. Also want to recognize John Malera, who finished 8th in the 1600-meter and 10th in the 800-meter running events. So that was really the list of both McKinney High and McKinney North as far as the district and regional meets are concerned. Weren't able to come up with McKinney North's district meet results. Couldn't find that information. Wasn't able to talk to Coach Bilyeu today, obviously, as well, but we're able to get his regional meets times for his athletes and their performances. We're able to get those down for you, and so you know that some of the North athletes are moving on to state. They'll be there this weekend in Austin. McKinney High not sending anyone to state, but they did send 2 to regionals, had a good district meets result as well, including Kevin Steets again finishing first in the pole vault in their district. So that does it for McKinney High and McKinney North, their track and field season roundup. Thanks for listening. We want to thank the track and field coaches for their time on today's show, and we wish all the McKinney ISD athletes luck that have a spot at this weekend's state track meet in Austin. Are you ready for the latest softball and baseball playoff update? You should be. The McKinney Lions swept Jesuit to win their first-round baseball series and will play Rockwall in the area round. McKinney North lost their second game of the season to Mount Pleasant in Game 2 of their best-of-3 series, but the Bulldogs cruised to a 16-3 win in Game 3 to advance to play Waxahachie in an exciting area-round matchup this week. Finally, I witnessed in person McKinney's boys' 9-0 victory in softball in Game 2 of their series to sweep Mesquite Horn. Let me tell you, Mo McDonald and company sold me on their chances of advancing deep into the playoffs. Rockwall is their opponent for the regional quarterfinal round. Next week, we recap the tennis season in MISD, and we'll let you know what individual brought home a state title. From all of us here at Sports Talk, I'm Tyler Sloan. Have a great week.